asilimia kubwa ya
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Policy for Tanzanians is agreed upon in the 12th National Business Council meeting, as it will enable Tanzanians to participate fully in investment and strategic projects.
Pesa nyingi za kigeni ziweze kutumika kulipia hizo bidhaa, lakini tunazo rasilimali nyingi tunaweza kuzitumia, na tunazo fursa nyingi tunaweza kuzitumia tukazalisha bidhaa hizo hapa nchini.
Tanzania Ports Authority TPA said that challenges with lorries being improperly parked while waiting to offload their cargo, causing inconvenience to road users, has now been resolved after the authority found an area at Kidongo Chekundu where all lorries will park while waiting to offload.
Kuna mpango mkakati mkubwa. Kuna eneo la EPZA pale ambalo linajulikana kama eneo la Kidongo Chekundu.
We have a strategic plan at Kidongo Chekundu. TPA is in the process of getting the area that will be used as vehicle temporary parking area before going to private yards. So far we're using Kitopeni yard. However, we expect to start using the new yard by end of November.
Wameanzisha swala la relationship customer officer wa.
They have introduced relationship customer officer for shipping agencies. Once the department will be used effectively, then it shall improve efficiency at the port.
Tanzania Meteorological Agency TMA has warned farmers in the northern areas who are depending on two rain seasons that in October, November until December there will be a significant shortage in rainfall. The agency has called on farmers to take caution when preparing their farms due to the weather forecast.
Katika kipindi hiki hatutarajii kuwa na msimu wa mvua ambao ni ule tuliouzoea wa kuwa na mvua nyingi.
We are not expecting to receive heavy rains as what we are used to. People should continue following up on reports that are released regularly. For farmers, once the rains begin, they should consult input officers to know what crops are ideal for such kind of environment.
Kwa sababu huwezi kuongeza maslahi kwa watu eneo moja. Italeta mgawanyo. Hizi ni taasisi za serikali.
We have already presented the agendas to the minister in charge and authorities involved. Let us give time for our leaders to complete projects in hand, because once big projects like SGR are complete, then funds used for the project will be channeled in other pending projects.
The Inspector General of Police, Simon Siro, has said that the East Africa Police Chiefs Corporation Organization, EAPCO, will continue to strengthen security among countries of the corporation by conducting joint operations and ensuring they stop cross-border crime, as well as exchange information on crime and criminals. IGP Siro said this in Dar es Salaam when meeting with the Inspector General of Police from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Diodon Bahigwa, who is on a working visit in the country a few days before being handed over the APCO chair.
Leo tunakutana na IGP wa DRC wa Congo.
Today we've met with the DRC Congo IGP. He asked us to meet so we can hand over the chairmanship of 14 countries in East and Central Africa, whereby heads of the police force cooperate with one another. And I was chair for 2 years, but now it has passed on to DRC. So he asked to go and learn, but also to be able to rehearse. We've also spoken about joint operations.
Nipate experience yake na mimi ninawaza tarehe 10.
This was in order to gain experience because on 14th I will be taking over here in Congo. So this was the main reason why I came. But we've also spoken about how we can work together, especially on criminals who cross the border.
And the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has today spoken via the internet with the CEO of Royal Dutch Shell Company, Ben van Beurden, whose base is in Holland. During the meeting, Van Beurden commended President Samia Suluhu Hassan on how the sixth phase government is improving talks on investment in liquefied natural gas in the country. The CEO of NMB in the country, Ruth Zaipuna, has today handed over to the leadership of Dodoma Region medical equipment, which include delivery beds for expecting mothers, roof sheeting, as well as chairs and tables for primary and secondary schools worth 40 million shillings so as to support government efforts in promoting development.
Hakuna tukio la serikali ambalo ukishesha watu 20 wasema nadhani waambie NMB.
You must not ask yourselves why you are being approached so many times. It all depends on visibility. There are certain banks in 30 days in a month. You don't see them on any social media platforms. Yet they have a public relations officer.
Katika hii hati ya kiapo tumeweka ahadi 5.
We put forward 5 provisions that we are going to fulfill to our customers.
Mobile company Tigo has launched Customer Service Week in Dodoma by reducing the prices of their products, including smartphones, with the company's head of customer service revealing that they will use the week to resolve various customer challenges.
We are well prepared to receive customers in all our customer service centers and on social media platforms. We've decided to reduce the price on our mobile phones, but we've also reduced the cost on all our internet packages.
Some residents of Idunda village, Jacobi Ward, who are selling land to Vanilla village have been advised to be transparent with their families so as to avoid land conflicts that might become an impediment to ongoing investment at the village in the future.
Unatoka kwenye familia unauza eneo unampa Vanilla afu wana familia unawaacha. Kama ni familia mnakubaliana basi mnakubaliana. Sisi ndugu hatutaki migogoro Idunda.
In Idunda, we don't want conflicts. If you're selling the land, make sure that it is your property. If it is a family asset, then involve everybody. All these efforts are to protect investors, not to invest on land that have conflict.
And that's all for the national news. International news is next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Wundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa.
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
In international news, British military personnel are delivering fuel to petrol stations in a bid to ease a supply crisis caused by a shortage of truck drivers. Here's more on the report.
About 200 service personnel, including 100 drivers, were deployed on Monday to help boost deliveries after undergoing training last week. The United Kingdom is facing shortage of thousands of truckers due to the coronavirus pandemic and an exodus of foreign workers following the country's departure from the European Union. The shortage has impacted supply chains for everything from pork, ABD, petrol to poultry, medicines and milk, contributing to empty supermarket shelves and shuttered fuel stations.
President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has responded to the controversial Pandora Papers that linked his family with 13 secret offshore accounts reportedly worth 3.3 billion Kenyan shillings. In a State House statement, President Kenyatta said his attention has been drawn to comments surrounding the Pandora Papers by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalism. He said he will respond when he returns from his state visit to the Americas. However, he said that the report will improve financial transparency. And South Sudan has scrapped visa requirements for Ugandan citizens entering the country. This comes 2 weeks after the government of Uganda removed visa requirements for citizens from South Sudan. The developments are part of an agreement reached by member countries of the East African Community towards regional integration. And the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has been sworn in for a new 5-year term as his government faces a host of challenges, including a months-long conflict in the northern region of Tigray. Here is more.
Oath of office administered by Supreme Court Chief Justice Meaza Ashenafi on Monday. Abiy's Prosperity Party was declared the winner of parliamentary election earlier this year in a vote criticized and at times boycotted by opposition parties, but described by some outside electoral observers as better run than those in the past. The election marked the first time Abiy faced voters since he was appointed Prime Minister in 2018, following several years of anti-government protest.
And that's all for the international news. Business news follows after this break.
This edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in business news, Tanzania Investment Center TIC has continued to receive investors from various countries, including from Egypt, who are looking for investment opportunities in agriculture, tourism, health, construction and gas sectors in the country.
The government has shown that it needs partnership with private sectors, and we are well organized along with various government institutions to ensure that not a single dollar is lost on these investments. System developments, IC equipment manufacturing, network security issues, capacity buildings for our employees, considering Tanzania is entering a digital economy.
The Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange has issued its third quarter year report, which shows Big foreign investors have continued to return and invest in the stock exchange despite challenges caused by the coronavirus.
Septemba kumekuwa na ongezeko kutoka bilioni 29.5 mpaka bilioni 34.5.
Since September, there has been an increase from 29.5 billion shillings to 34.5 billion shillings. If you look at it, you will see a 17% increase compared to the second quarter of the year. The number of bonds has increased from 685 billion shillings to 689 billion shillings.
The new digital parking revenue collection system being implemented by mobile phone company Vodacom Tanzania in collaboration with Tanzania Rural Roads Agency TARURA has shown to address the challenge of revenue loss in various vehicle parking areas.
Kuna manufaa mengi sana kwa taifa inapotoka kwenye cash economy kwenda kwenye cashless.
There are so many benefits the country is getting out of cash economy to cashless. Bureaucracy is declining, revenue leakage is declining. The country loses 1.5 up to 10% before it pulls out of cashless economy.
Cashless.
Na mfumo huo umeonyesha mafanikio makubwa katika eneo la mapato.
This system has shown a great success in terms of revenue collection. These payments are paid through mobile phone, including M-Pesa, Vodacom. And today we met at this event to allocate resources to support the government's efforts. Vodacom and Tarura have come up with a solution. They had to come to our offices at DMDP, Kinondoni, or at any bank for payments.
And that is all for business news. Sports news follows up next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Marquinhos, he did lose to Lynn.
And now in sports. The Tanzania women's national team, Twiga Stars, have won their third group game in the COSAFA Women's Championships proceeding in South Africa.
Twiga Stars, who are participating in the COSAFA Championships as a guest team, have extended their winning streak to 3 games after defeating South Sudan by 3-0. The queen of the match today was Tomai Athuman, who scored all 3 goals. Twiga are yet to concede a goal in the competition after winning 3-0 and 2-0 against Zimbabwe and Botswana consecutively.
The Twende Butiama cycling caravan has reached its second day, picking up speed with more than 100 cyclists involved.
It is the second day, ITV viewers. In the morning, we started the journey to Morogoro. We passed Chalinze around 8 a.m. and now we are heading to Morogoro. It is a few kilometers away and we are getting in some energy through dates.
Kylian Mbappe said he informed Paris Saint-Germain in July that he wanted to leave so that the Ligue 1 club could earn some money from the transfer and had time to find a replacement.
PSG turned down several bids from Real Madrid for Mbappe, who can leave as a free agent at the end of this season as his contract expires next June. Mbappe denied he had turned down 6 or 7 extension proposals. I asked to leave because from the moment I did not want to extend my contract. I wanted the club to have a transfer fee to find a quality replacement, the 22-year-old told RMC Sport in an interview that will be aired tomorrow.
After 7 Premier League games with the team 14th in the table and within 24 hours of the final whistle blowing on a dismal defeat against Leeds at Elland Road, Watford sacked Cisco Munoz as head coach and opened negotiations with Claudio Ranieri.
Should he be appointed, Ranieri would have the international break to introduce the players to his methods, followed by a nightmare run of 8 games in which opponents include Liverpool, Chelsea, both Manchester clubs, Arsenal, Everton and Leicester. Munoz becomes the 6th permanent appointee to leave the club since May 2017, but though the regularity with which Watford have changed their head coach since Gino Pozzo bought the club in 2012 has been widely mocked, the results have been impressive. 2 promotions, an FA Cup final and 6 seasons in the Premier League, with 1 relegation from which they immediately bounced back. Other than Sean Dyche, the first to fall a week after Pozzo's takeover, and Billy McKinley, who lasted only 8 days in 2014, it is hard to argue that any of their decisions has been premature. The issue has been not with the firing, but with the hiring.
Golden State Warriors forward Andrew Wiggins has had the COVID-19 vaccine after the NBA rejected his request for a religious exemption.
San Francisco's health rules require those aged 12 and over at large indoor events to have had the vaccine. The NBA said Wiggins could not play in the Warriors' home games until he fulfills the city's vaccination requirements. Speaking last week, Wiggins said he is confident in his beliefs and what he thinks is right. However, on Sunday, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said the 26-year-old Canadian, the #1 overall draft pick in the 2014, had now been vaccinated.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose and left.